101.9 FM in the city of Abeokuta. Yes, it's the Daybreak Show. This is the voice of the people. Citizens Forum this morning. Yes, we will be going into the markets, into the streets, into our roads, and yes, again, to our borders. Well, not physically, you should know, because we'll be looking at what have now become a topical, debatable uh, current issues in town, the customs and its enabling functions. One, from today, there will be 30 days grace, they've said, for everybody who do not have legal papers for his or her vehicles. The opportunity, 30 days opportunity, is there for you to go quickly and do so. They've told us you can either go to the custom office in Lagos, Abuja, I think Kaduna, where you can regularize and formalize what they call your custom duties papers. Well, these are generated reactions from different quarters across the country. That is what we'll be looking at, and other issues that surround the recent imbroglio on the streets with the customs and the traders. Dele Ayodo is my name.
I'm Toby Joseph. Just like Dele said, we'll be looking at a whole lot of issues this morning, besides the issue of vehicle papers, custom duties, which has generated a lot of controversy and debates online, and of course, different places. We're also going to look at, just like Dele said, the face-off between smugglers and Nigerian Customs Service officials, and so many other issues concerning the CG of the Nigerian Customs Service. We have right now on standby, joining us all the way from Ikeja in Lagos, ASC Jerry Atta. That's the Populations Officer of the FOU, that is the Federal Operations Unit of the Nigerian Customs Service, NCS. Good morning, ASC Jerry Atta. Thank you for.
The recent operations of the FOU in particular, their raids have created tension, to say the least, tears and unhappiness within your environment and the people. Will you say the FOU is happy with the consequence, or you are elated with the resultant effect of this your raids and operations? Thank you, Jerry Atta, for joining us on the Daybreak Show. All right. Okay, that has been the voice of the FOU Federal Operations Unit for PRO, Public Relations Officer of Nigerian Customs, Mr. Jerry Atta, obviously trying to defend his agency on the operations, and of course the order that appears to also be creating some chaos within the society. I'm talking about the customs paper. However, we have somebody in the house who will look at it. He spoke about the Customs Act, Constitution, all notes, and Tobi also reminded him of government policy. We have a lawyer with us who will do justice to that aspect of the topic this morning. Join me to welcome the chairman of the Nigerian Bar Association, Abeokuta Branch, Mr. Atanda, to the studio. Morning, Mr. Atanda.
Good morning, listeners.
Lawyer Ibrahim Atada, welcome to the Daybreak Show.
Thank you, good morning.
Well, you heard the PRO of the FOU of the Nigerian Customs Service. What are the constitutional and legal holes that you can pick from his positions?
Thank you very much. Mr. Jerry Atta actually discussed the activities of the Nigerian Customs and tried to make reference to some sections of the law which empowered them. First and foremost, we need to know that the main law governing the activities of Nigerian Customs Service is the Custom and Excise Management Act, which is also the act made by the National Assembly, giving the Nigerian Customs powers to deal with certain matters relating to Nigerian Customs. Part of the power given to them, when you look at Section 8 of that law, or the Act of the National Assembly, it actually gives them the same power as we have it in the Nigerian police. They have the right, once they suspect that a goods either smuggled into Nigeria or duties not paid. Even if duties were paid but not adequately paid, they actually have the right to seize that goods, which is the act of the National Assembly. And they can also stop vehicles if they suspect that either the vehicle in question was smuggled in, or the vehicle contained goods that were supposed to be to be subjected to the police for payment of dues or duties. They can stop the vehicle. In fact, they can confiscate the vehicle.
Yeah, Mr. Atanda, let's look at this common saying on the street that law is made for man and man and not man for the law, which means when we have a law that appears to be creating more problem than solving it, then that law is wrong. I'll now apply it to this customs issue. If I buy a car from an agent that was duly registered, licensed, and perhaps paying tax, regarded in the business law as a legal company, I buy the car, get my receipt, and I'm using it. And then the customs told me and discovered that that car do not have their own papers. Should I be punished for that? Since you said they have the right to seize the vehicle, should I be punished for that?
Okay, thank you. The seizure that I said is not without being followed procedure. Let me just quickly say something on that. The Federal High Court is the court that the custom can approach. Who is going to listen to the custom? They have their lawyers. They have the fiat of the Attorney General Federation to prosecute. So if the court look at the case and there is a genuine case for the forfeiture of that goods, then the court will make that order. The custom on their own cannot make order, cannot even forfeit. They have to approach the court.
So in other words, because what we've been seeing is the opposite from the customs. Atta just said they have the right to even come to my kitchen.
Yes, that one will be under investigation. Then they have a department for investigation. The owner of those goods can follow them, write statement, just like the police. You go to them, write your statement. If they feel that you have committed a crime, they charge to court. Get your own lawyer, defend your case to show the court that you did not commit any crime. If that person is discharged and acquitted, is actually entitled to his goods. Now, so there's a special procedure for the money involved and even the goods, because at times owners of goods can run away. So that will lead to only one procedure for forfeiture, because they cannot even get the owner of the goods. But where you can get the owner of the goods, you can charge the owner of the goods to court and ask the court to forfeit. But if you defend your case properly, you can be discharged and acquitted, goods released to you. That's the investigative aspect of the Nigerian Customs Service.
So how do you solve a case whereby a Nigerian who is going about his or her business legally, all right, gets bags of rice for sale in his own shop, and then the customs actually raid the shop and cut away all the rice without getting the culprit, who is the smuggler? How do you solve that? Because the rice seller was actually going about his own business activity legally without any, without having necessarily going to the border or going to a neighboring country to smuggle the rice in. It was just there, got the rice from whoever. Maybe he might not be so connected to the smuggler. How do you solve that?
Thank you. You have similar questions. The one that relates to going to a car dealer, registered car dealer, you bought your vehicle from him. The same thing with somebody who approached a rice seller and bought your rice and put it in your store for sale. You know, there's a duty on every car buyer to ask for the duty of his vehicle, knowing fully well that the custom officers might decide to stop you, because they even have the right to stop and
no, that's an assumption. I may not know that they will come in. My own is I'm doing a business deal that is legal. I want to buy and have been issued receipt, which is the evidence of payment. So
Well,
it's an assumption that I should know that the custom will ask me for papers, is it not?
well, if you choose not to ask for the custom duties from the car seller, the dealer, then if custom asks you, you take the custom to the person that sued you. You know they are investigating crime. It's like a criminal act they are investigating. They found you innocent of what you are saying, not guilty, they release you.
But not the car.
If the car, if the duty of the car is not paid, then they can take it.
Now, this
If
part
it is
of the
established that is not, they can't leave it because it's a crime.
this part of the custom, is it a blanket one? Let me further explain. The police, I know, and other security agencies, if they want to raid anywhere, you would ask for their what do they call it? Is it warrant?
Yes, search warrant.
So you ask for a search warrant. They must come with a search warrant. But in the case of the customs, you just said they just break into anywhere, comes into my kitchen, take away anything. Is it a blanket power that the constitution gives them?
The act of the Nigerian Custom and Excise Management Act actually gave them power to search premises which they suspect they will have to have smuggled items
Without a search
without
warrant.
warrant. Without warrant. That is the position of the law.
Okay. Now let us also look at the example I gave to Jerry Atta. We have the Idiroko official border point to Songo, where this raid of the rice happened, which is about 68 kilometers. And there are well over 20 security points there, which means averaging 2 security points per kilometer, if you want to calculate it. And these smugglers were still able to pass through all those ones. Should this not be enough for the people to challenge the powers of the customs?
That is where we now address the issue of corruption. The roads, we have different security officers on that road. But the alternative road that Mr. Jerry Atta was referring to, custom officers, they are aware of those routes. They are aware of those routes. They knew that smugglings occur constantly through those roads. When they go to that route to block it, they are equally aware of another alternative road that will be created by these smugglers. He actually said that there in every organization you still have some bad heads. So that is indirectly conceding that some of them conspire with the smugglers to make sure that those goods come into the country. Now the goods are in the country, you now want to chase them. So you initially allowed that act, which is corruption, and now you want to solve the problem. They are the one that created it. Because the custom officers, all the routes coming into this country, legally or illegal routes, they knew all these routes. And they're supposed to perform their duty diligently so that there will not be corruption.
The event of last week in Abeokuta, the same customs where lives were lost, what are the grounds in which those involved can sue the customs officer, or there is no ground for court litigation?
Well, I don't actually know those who are informed, but I
No, just
got
the
it.
story. The story is that they shot at a vehicle ongoing suspected to be carrying smuggled rice, and at the end of it, 2 people were said to have lost their lives. The families of those who lost their lives, and perhaps people in that environment who will have been faced with trauma. So, can they uh, challenge that power we just mentioned?
They can actually challenge. They can actually challenge the activities of the custom officers in court, particularly the families of the innocent people, and they can sue the custom, present their case, and come up with evidence to support their case. If the court look at it and
On what ground would they place their litigation on?
it's going to be a civil action. It's a civil action to claim damages. They have to sue the Nigerian Customs Services. If they know the officers, they join their names to the suit and they proceed. They can claim millions of naira, they can claim billions of naira, depend on the status of the deceased.
Okay.
Particularly if he's a breadwinner of the family and he's the only person taking care of the whole family. So that's a great loss. That's a great loss to the family. So they can actually sue and claim their rights. the
Okay,
damages.
now, Mr. Atanda, let us look at the issue of the status of the CG of customs. We heard when I asked ASC Jerry Atta about whether the CG is compelled by law to wear the uniform of the Nigerian Customs Service. As a retired Army Colonel, do you think there will be a conflict if he wears, decides to put on the uniform of the Nigerian Customs Service? Could that be the reason why he's shying away from putting the uniform on?
Thank you very much. He didn't actually say that this is reason. All what he is saying is, I am performing, I am doing my duty. What do you have to? Why do you have to bother yourself with uniform? But if you look at it very well, the status is occupying is called the Controller General, and it has a rank, it has a sign, and there's a uniform for that rank. I don't know why he will refuse not to wear it, particularly when the National Assembly is saying that wear it. And the National Assembly represents the entire nation. So when they talk, they are speaking for us. So when they ask you to wear it, then you wear it as a respect to the National Assembly and to Nigerians.
Now, the issue is, in the eyes of the law, constitutionally, is he supposed to? Because we might be, maybe we should go back to the genesis. In the first instance, should a retired army colonel be heading the Nigerian Customs Service?
Yes, because that position can be is at the discretion of the president. It has to do with the appointment, part of the appointment to be made by the president, sent to the Senate for approval.
But that means when Retired Colonel Ahmed Ali was appointed as CG, he should have been decorated with the rank of a CG of the Customs Service.
Very well, yes, I agree with you. It should have been decorated because it is a rank.
But that didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
So
But that does not stop his work, because it is not. There is no express provision of the law that says he must be decorated.
Now, if the Senate wakes up tomorrow and says, okay, Colonel Ahmed Ali should go, as far as the Constitution, that is merely an advisory role, an advice from the National Assembly. It is within the powers of the president to actually remove or retain Ahmed Ali. Am I correct?
You are very right.
Okay. Well, we still have at the studio lawyer Ibrahim Atanda, the chairman of the Nigerian Bar Association at Abeokuta Branch. Earlier on, we had the ASC, Assistant Superintendent of Customs, Jerry Atta, who is the Public Relations Officer of the Federal Operations Unit of the Nigerian Customs Service, NCS. He was on the show earlier on, and he was talking about a lot of issues as regards their responsibility to check the influx of smuggled goods, especially rice, which has been a recurring decimal in Nigeria. He also posited that as long as they are carrying out their lawful duties, they have the right to invade any part of the country to get the smuggled goods. He also talked about the issue of custom duty on vehicles, that come what may, the position of the CG on the issue of customs remains sacrosanct, and they will continue with that policy to make sure that all vehicles that move on the highway have custom duties. We'll go on a break now for the national news. After the national news, we'll come back and continue our discussion. And Lawyer Atanda will still be here in the studio. In the meantime, you can start sending your questions or comments or contributions via the short code 32120 is the number. Type rock, ROCK, leave a space, type your message, include your name, and send to 32120. If you're on Twitter, you can tweet us your contributions also at Rock City FM is our Twitter handle. Stay with us.
Yes, Daybreak Show on Rock City 101.9 FM in the city of Abeokuta. Citizens Forum this morning, looking at the Customs Act, the recent rates, and of course the intention of the Nigerian Customs Service to begin to seize vehicles that do not have valid custom papers. Earlier on, we spoke with the Public Relations Officer of the Federal Operations Unit of the Nigerian Customs Service, Jerry Atta. He actually described seizure as forcefully taking over somebody's property legally. Interesting definition to be. So, and that empowers them to break into anywhere where they suspect that they have smuggled goods, including your kitchen, according to him. Well, that's the position, which has been corroborated by our guest, a lawyer who says they also, according to the custom act that enables them, they have the right to seize, yes, seize and investigate any smuggled items wherever it is found. Mr. Ibrahim Atanda is the chairman, Nigerian Bar Association, Abeokuta Branch, and he's here with us looking at those issues.
Well, we would like to throw open the studio lines and other communication channels available to us this morning and to you. You can call our studio lines at 0809 868 7344 and 0909 146 9670. Those are the numbers to call. You can reach us via the short code 32120. All you have to do is to type rock, ROCK, leave a space, type your message, include your name, and send to 32120. You can also reach us on social media. If you have a Twitter handle, tweet us your contributions or questions at Rock City FM is our Twitter handle. On Facebook, you just look for our Facebook page, Rock City FM 11.9. That is our Facebook. You can drop your post on or your comments on the post already on our page. All right, let's go straight to it. The first caller. Hello, good morning.
They wants to know why Customs concentrates their activities in the south.
Well, the Nigerian Customs Services, by their name, is has a wider coverage. It covers all the federation. So it will not be proper for Nigerian Customs Service to concentrate only on the southwest. They have to also spread their power, spread their tentacles, all this power given to them under the law. They spread it and make sure that it has a wider coverage. That is where their impact.
Is this statement, first of all, is this statement correct?
Well, because we have not been hearing any of their activities from the north, perhaps one would say that because we have not been hearing that, maybe they are not working towards that aspect. Because we will not also agree that they are not smuggling and they are not smuggled goods in the north. There are a lot of smuggled goods also in the north. So why are they not doing that? So they have to make sure they spread their power to the north. So I want to agree with Mr. Uju on that aspect.
Well, you might also say that the southwest, especially Ogun State to be precise, and Lagos are the major entry point when you talk about movement of goods and commodities. Ogun State, for example, is a gateway state, and you know that even out of all the commands of the Nigerian Customs Service, Ogun Command of the Nigerian Customs makes more money, generate more revenue than any other command, and that's why the Nigerian Customs Service does not joke with Ogun Command. So maybe that might also. Do you agree that that might be a reason why there is this?
I also agree with that. When you look at Lagos, Ogun State, the activities of Nigerian Customs, no doubt will be more significant in those 2 days than other states.
Okay, so we have to iron that out so we don't play up ethnic agenda. Okay, let's go back to the calls while we are waiting more of your messages. 32120 is a shortcut number. Type rock, ROCK, leave a space, type your message, include your name, and send to 32120. On Twitter, you can reach us at Rock City FM, that's our Twitter handle. And of course, on Facebook, we have our post there already. Rock City FM 101.9. Just drop your comments. I will gladly read your comments. Let's take this call. Hello.
Mr. Ayobode asked a question that where were the custom officers when all these goods were being taken into the country? And think I have mentioned something like that too earlier on, that the customs too need to sanitize their organization. There is need for them to to remove officers, corrupt officers that will not allow the government policy to achieve its aim. So we all agree that we have corrupt officers among the customs, and these goods cannot just come into the country without conspiracy between the smugglers and the custom officers. Forget about whether the borders are too many, roads leading to the country are too many. What about goods taken from Ogun State, for instance, and you take it to like Oyo State? We have custom officers along the road. Why can't they stop these goods before reaching their destination? But they have their own ways of operating too. Like the last speaker said that there was an instance where a police officer allow him, let him go, he has paid. So which means he can be allowed to move because he has actually paid what is expected of him to be. Not custom duty this time around, but pocket duty. So we should make sure that the organization of the authority of the custom officers, thank you, should make sure that the corrupt officers are taken away from the custom service, so that we'll be able to see the genuinity in their activities. We'll be able to appreciate what they are doing. But if they are still corrupt, there's no way this problem can be solved.
Well, I really want your understanding of the vehicle papers position of customs.
Yes. The Nigerian Custom and Excise Management Act and other laws relating to the custom activities does not actually specify the years of vehicles. What the law just says is vehicles smuggling or vehicles that the duties are not being paid can be actually impounded.
So
There
a,
is no
a Morris
specific.
Marina of 1974 or a Pojo 404, if it's still in use, suspected to have been smuggled and can still be intercepted.
Yes, as long as the duty is not paid. Except if in their own wisdom they decided to waive
Because of the year.
yes, and make use of the year, that okay, we'll pardon so year, then let's start from this year. That is their own wisdom, and they actually have the rights or power to do that.
I think the year of cars that can be used in the country has also even been pegged by the customs. I can't remember the
All right, let's check
years downward.
Let's check messages.
So, just in case you are planning to bring a Peugeot for 1974, forget about the idea. All right, let's take this. This one says, for God's sake, Dele and Tobi, please let's enlighten the public of dangers of smuggling rather than defending it. What is bad is bad. Abubakar from Ashero sent in that. Thank you. Barrister Kela says, Nigerian constitution needs some amendments. Many of the laws affect only the common man on the street. Abuse and misuse of powers is everywhere. The law, the law. How do we move forward in this situation? Uniform or no uniform? The National Assembly should be careful. I don't see that as a barrier, though they no longer have free access to imports, arms, and ammunitions illegally to Nigeria, like those days of old. God save our country and myself. Please, lawyer in your house, what is the right of the SAS to stop a vehicle containing smuggled rice? This has been the action for long.
That's the police SAS, Special Anti-Robbery Squad.
Kolawole Joseph is asking that. I disagree with the man in the studio that DG Custom is not ready to wear uniform as demanded by the National Assembly is a disobedience to legislators and to Nigerians because they represent us, and whatever they say, they speak for us. It is not in all matters they speak for people's interest. In fact, they legislate mostly on what is benefiting benefiting to them at the expense of the poor masses. Are they not the one that screened him then? Why are they raising a uniform issue now? Ade is asking that question. Customs spokesman said it is their right to reform the economy. So by so doing, lives were lost. So what is it telling us? Is it that the economy is more important than lives? Kolawole Joseph sent in that message. All vehicles have custom papers, but some are fake and some genuine. Sadly, customs officers produce both. How do buyers detect this when buying? Bimbo sent in that one. Please let this market women turn smugglers explain to Nigerians if they had paid duties on the rise to government. Otumba Yomilu Soya sent in that one. Abiodun Shawale says President Buhari must urgently do something about the activities of the killer customs men, especially in Ogun State, and civil liberty organizations should help take up the case of the people murdered last week in Abeokuta with a custom patrol that day. May God bless Nigeria. Kenny from Ashiro says the Nigerian customs officers are inhumane and Nigerian customs officers are allowed by law to kill. Where are officers of customs when those bags of rice were transported through our borders? Can the officers in the studio emphatically say that they have never converted imported goods to their personal property? And there are no smugglers in the north? How many northerners have been killed or arrested? Nigerians will be treated equally. Kenny from Ashiro, we appreciate your message, but please let's tone down on the ethnic and tribal sentiment. I believe that the only law-making body is the National Assembly, but now it appears that Customs Department is making its laws, not passing through the National Assembly. Is that right? Falabi sent in that message. Did you get that question? That the custom is making laws, formulating laws or policies without recourse to the National Assembly. There is no law that compels Custom CG to appear before the Senate in uniform, as there is no law that compels the CGN to appear in a robe. Matthew from Joko. Adebwale from Obantoko says it appears everybody is against the Nigerian customs and not the smugglers. Smugglers are not spirits, but fellow Nigerians who could even be our relations. For economic security and survival, let the populace support and not condemn customs. Alright, that's it for the messages. Let's go to the tweets now. This one says, custom men season rights at markets are acting within the law, said the customs PRO. Is that the reason why your men have to kill people at Abeokuta just because of 5 bags of rice? That is coming from Ola Fiz or something. Ogbeni of Nigeria tweeted this. Olu Omowole says, do they have the right to take bribe and also hunt smugglers after taking bribe from them? Owode Diroko Road is a haven for corruption. Olaleko Abiodun says, what evidence do they have to show that the rice was smuggled, and why did they force open the shops if they are not also smugglers? Jandele Hugo tweeted this. It is a pity we celebrated jungle tactics even when brigandage leads to loss of lives. Yemi Da Vinci says the guests have spoken well, but what recourse can someone who purchase goods from a legitimate business, who purchase goods from a reputable supplier, and then turns out to be a smuggler, have to get recompense for his or her goods? Did you get that message? Did you get that?
Not very clear.
They're
Okay,
talking
he's
about
saying that
compensation.
he if he transacted a legitimate business, but from a supplier who apparently got the product from a smuggled process. So, is there any recompense for the person? Okele Musiliudin says, what military law says about uh, former military officers wearing non-military uniform? Is uniform more important than getting the job done correctly? Okay, that's Okele. Surakat Abiodun says the Nigerian Customs Service doing more harm than good. It should tell the federal government to wake up. Nigeria can be the second largest producer of rice on paper. James Ajibade says the customs are just hiding under the law to perpetrate evil. Where were they when this rice comes into the country? Federal government should make food available to Nigerians through agriculture and see whether smuggling won't disappear. Farmers are not empowered. Abiodun Surakat sent in that one also. James Ajibade says, I want to say categorically that some of these custom officers' wives are the ones selling the seized rice. They are only deceiving us. Omidi Jidamilari says, I think there are too many pocket duties from the officers on duty post, and I smell conspiracy between key smugglers and customs. Good morning. Yemi Da Vinci says Hamid Ali not wearing the uniform is just ego tripping on the other side. This is sowing the seed of indiscipline in his men. Please tell us if the value of alleged smuggled rice is worth the life of human beings. Can they break the law to keep the law? Ajibade James sent in that. Omidiji Damilare went on. There is need to review the constitution and custom operations should be thoroughly checked. I think the Nigerian Customs Service need a court martial. Okay, we'll turn around with the messages. Let lawyer
Well, thank you.
Atanda react to this.
Thank you. Let me just say that the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, they are actually not giving that law to arrest or to search for smuggled rice. But where there is a suspicion that a crime is being committed or has been committed, they can actually effect an arrest and now take it to the appropriate authority. So police can actually act under this and hand over those people to the Nigerian Customs, who have the right to investigate to determine the status of those goods. So the police, they have a very blanket power that says that in fact a single police officer can effect an arrest if in his own reasoning, that is the way the law put it, if in his own reasoning he is suspected that a crime has been committed, he can effect arrest without warrants. Instantly he can effect arrest and now take it to the appropriate authority. You have a similar issues when it comes to issue of police arresting people in the possession of India hemp, cocaine, for instance. They can effect arrest and now transfer them to the NDLA for proper investigation and possible prosecution. So they have the power to arrest people under the suspicion that a crime has been committed. But they have to immediately take those people to the appropriate agency for necessary action. That is the reaction on that. It is not that the custom officers are formulating new laws. The fact that previous administration of the custom officers have not been following the law in existence does not mean that the people that are following it now are just formulating a new law. The aspect of stop, search, entering premises has been in the law for a very long time. But now that they are trying to make use of it, it doesn't mean that they are formulating a new law. And that is that on that. They don't actually have that right to just kill because they are searching for a right. So there is need for training. There is need for training because when you look at it, the officers, the custom officers, how many of them undergo training? How often do they train them? Is there any continued training given to them for them to know the best way to approach each case? So on this note, we'll just call on the Nigerian Customs Services to organize trainings to their officers. This will actually give them more experience in terms of how to handle issues. And there are so many ways of stopping vehicles. They should also be equipped. We have to employ the government to equip the Nigerian Customs Services to enable them effect arrest properly. So
Right, messages.
All right, let's check this comment on our Facebook post. Surakat Abdulhamid Abiodun says the Nigerian Customs Service is doing more harm than good to this nation. They should relax their nonsense and stop wasting the lives of Nigerians. They should tell Nigerian government to unveil the plan it has concerning Operation Feed Nigeria. Nigeria, would be regarded as the second largest producer of rice on paper, still buys just a bag of rice with 25,000 naira. I go with Dr. Nkom's submission on this. Let's start eradicating corruption from our mentality through the basic things we do. The only error I found in the recent activities of the customs is the loss of innocent lives. Besides that, I think their work and ethics have been strict like 6 o'clock. That's coming from Emmanuel the Blessed. Okay, we can still accommodate
Yes,
more
telephone
messages via the short code. This one says, Lawyer Atanda, that law to search you without search warrant, is it in order? Can the Senate look into this and do some amendments so as not to bring in criminals visiting you? Kind of really with this sentence, that one. Appointing a retired army officer as CG of Customs by the president is very wrong. Government should do the needful. Olori Obayomi from Abantoko sent in that one. Nigerians will fight soon, uh, especially in Yewa, Ogun State, because as at 3 a.m. this morning, along the custom officers still passed lorries full of rice. I know it will be same at Ilaro, Idiroko axis overnight, of which they are also much aware. Can the PRO deny of not collecting from the money from the officers on the road? Please, I wish to join DSS for special operations on these officers. How can I join DSS for the work? Ebenezer from Olorunda sent in that information. People thinking customs can completely police the numerous borders of Nigeria are not realistic. America, with all their resources, cannot completely stop Mexicans illegally entering the US. Hence, Trump wants to build a wall. Ayala from Obantoko sent in that. Good morning. I do not agree with customs PRO despite what the law says, but I want our people to know that rice is not what the smugglers can put inside their pockets and cross the border. That's coming from Pius. I volunteered to join and search Dr. Unkom's kitchen. If imported rice is found, we shall confiscate. Bimbo is planning to invade your kitchen. Dr. Unkom. Customs ought to be taken to court for any breach which should not be orchestrated in national interest. Customs sent in that one. That's the last of the messages. And I don't think we can take any more calls.
Yes, Barrister Atanda. Let's look at this law. Um, earlier on, I talked about the law being for man and not man for the law. Well, you've also said crime is crime wherever it is committed, irrespective of how it was committed. But just like people are advocating in the case of the police criminal code being used by the police, is it not time that groups like yours, the NBA, legislators should also move in and tinker with some of these obsolete laws?
Thank you. I quite agree with you that there are so many laws that need to be amended in Nigeria, including the Custom and Excise Management Act, that is the law governing the custom activities. One will agree totally that there's need to amend these laws, and this is absolutely the duty of the National Assembly. Part of why they have to take their responsibility diligently instead of wasting time on wear uniform, don't wear uniform. Why can't they look at the law itself and see how it can be amended? If they actually want the Controller General of Custom to be wearing uniform, they should just make it a law. So that will put to rest the issue of whether I can wear uniform or I cannot wear uniform.
Now, quickly, the situation where they are not doing that, why can't NBA act as a pressure group to get them to this?
Yes, the NBA can act as a pressure group in terms of the national body of the NBA making some recommendations in terms of laws that we felt. That there are so many memos already written by the national headquarters of the Nigerian Bar Association. When you pass a memo, you recommend the law, you back it up. It is still the National Assembly that will handle all this. I just want to urge the National Assembly to sit down properly, look at all the memos, all the recommendations on their tables, and act for the benefit of the nation. I think that is good for us.
All right, it is on that note that we draw the curtains on the show this beautiful morning. Thank you so much for being part of our morning. And join us again tomorrow for the Daybreak Show. It starts as early as 7 a.m. with today's headlines. Thank you very much, Lawyer Atanda Ibrahim, for coming to the show this morning. Lawyer Ibrahim is the chairman of Nigerian Bar Association, Abeokuta Branch. I am Tobi Joseph. Have a wonderful day.
And I am Dele Ayodo saying God bless you all. God bless Nigeria. God bless Rock City.